The Gravy on the Side Variety Hour originally aired on April 14th on Facebook Live.
What you munching on there, Anissa?
Just some of this fourne doré sliced like brioche like bread. I've gotten through most of the bag, and so it's I'm feeling really I'm really glutening it up over here.
Yeah, that looks delish. I hope all those thumb exercise you were showing us earlier are enough to burn off all those calories.
It's not the calories so much, but I am feeling a little bit yeasty and bloaty.
Well, never fear. I think our next interview will have a baking solution for you.
Oh, what are we baking?
Sourdough bread. Let's learn the sourdough do's and don'ts.
Don't you mean the sourdoughs and don'ts?
Hilarious. Everybody, let's welcome Fletcher, also known as Pirate Sourdough on Instagram.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for being here.
Gosh, thanks for inviting me, Anissa. It's so fun to be here.
So tell me something. Have you always been a baker?
So I haven't. I mean, I've always loved food, and I've always loved sort of food challenges and things like that, being creative in the kitchen, but it's something that's come kind of new to me. Probably in the last year and a half is when I got into sort of, especially sourdough. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And so so if you're not a baker, because you're
outside of the kitchen, I actually work for Canada's National Arts Centre Orchestra, doing logistics and admin work. I do touring logistics, things like that. So one of our big things, we just went to Europe in May, and 140 people, all the logistics of moving them around. It's a lot of fun, but it's completely different. And right now, obviously, with COVID-19, we're not doing stuff in Southern Hall at the NAC. So it's fun to have this really creative outlet and to share it with all these people who seem to be crazy interested in it.
This is my big question, because it seems like since self-isolation, everybody is into sourdough. So what?
Like everybody and their mother.
Everybody, what is it about sourdough?
So something that I think is just intrinsically there about sourdough and baking is this community, right? And with us being all in self-isolation, people are looking for ways to communicate with people, to interact with people. And something like sourdough has this just kind of really beautiful built-in community with it. You start, if you're on Instagram, you start posting sourdough photos, and you'll instantly be sort of swamped with this really welcoming community of people who want to help you bake bread, want to show you how to do it, that sort of stuff. So I think that's one of the big reasons why sourdough, all those sort of trends are coming up during COVID, is because people want to be able to have community.
Sourdough for sure is one of the #1 Quarantrends that's happening on all of my social media right now. So many people are sourdoughing. So the difference between sourdough and regular bread, what's the difference?
Right. So I mean, sourdough is regular bread, but one of the great things about sourdough is it's uniquely known for those sort of long fermentation times, and you don't need, when you look on the bread that you just showed, that beautiful brioche, I don't know what the ingredient list is, but it's probably not 3. No. And sourdough, every single time, the basic sourdough, all you need is water, salt, flour, and time. And oh my God, we have so much time. And so for me, what's really nice about sourdough is being able to play with just those 3 ingredients and get different results at the end. Something I'm really proud of is trying to really up my hydrations when I do a sourdough. So hydration is how much water you're putting in versus how much flour. And when you put in more flour, anyone who's done any sort of baking, you put in more water into flour, you know that it gets kind of gloopy and hard to work with. And something about sourdough is you work with it, and the more you work with sort of a dough and you practice it, just like kind of music, you sort of learn how to work with it. And so I'm really proud of doing high hydration doughs, like 85, 90, sometimes 95% doughs. This one here, oh my gosh, prop.
Yes.
This one here is I think it was close to 90% I just pulled it out this afternoon from the oven. And something I really like using more and more is as much as possible, sort of local-ish organic flours. This is all using 1847 flours, which is a place in Mississauga. And something that's really nice about sourdough compared to other breads is because of those long fermentation times, 2, 3, 4 days in the fridge, it breaks down some of the protein. So it makes it a lot easier on your stomach to digest. Even people who are, not gluten intolerant, but who have maybe an aversion to gluten, they'll be able to eat some types of sourdough because of that. That's really nice. It's nice to be able to share that.
Great. And so my final question is, because I know in terms of making sourdough, you have to go with a starter. And
yeah.
So I see things online like about starters being 127 years old or
right.
So how old has your oldest starter been?
Okay. So I got into sourdough. I remember I have a photo of my starter from when I got into it. And it's something, I think it's on October 3, 2018. That's when I started my starter, which is cool. And I've been feeding the same starter for a year and a half now.
Wow.
And every time you bake, you use some starter and you keep some and you add to that and it just keeps adding. But about a year ago, I was really lucky. I was talking to a chef and he was like, hey, Fletch, do you want some starter that's 200 years old?
Oh,
and I was like, yeah, of course I do. I don't believe in it totally. I mean, I think it's kind of a little hokey. But he was like, yeah, we've got this starter. It's 200 years old. It's from San Francisco. So he gave me some. I threw it into my starter. And so I can honestly say my starter is now about 200 years old. There are
wow.
small bits of bacteria in there that every time you dilute them, but about 200 years old. Here's my starter. I fed that about 3 hours ago. It was at the elastic band. It's doubled in size. It's going to probably almost triple in size by the time I use it.
So
I'll feed it and we'll do it again.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Fletcher. Thank you for stopping by. And next time I'm in Ottawa, I want to try some sourdough.
Absolutely. Come on over. I'll show you how to do how to knead some dough, and I'll send you home with a loaf.
All right. I'm going to throw back to my co-host, Jeanne.